So, today I'm going to go over standing, which are considered the hardest shots you are ever going to take. For the simple reason, there's no support. The only support you got is your arm in your side here. So, I'll show you what I mean. So, when you pick your gun up, the first thing you want to do is get it right in the shoulder, okay? If you've got a buttock, make sure it's adjusted, and if you haven't got one, then just do your best. So, what I do, I bring my arm around here, like this, so it's in my shoulder. I pick it up, I get my hand facing like this, or like this, depending on the distance. Now this target is 25 yards, so I'm going to take this with my hand facing its normal direction. Next thing you want to do is range find the target. Now, if you're anything like myself, you find range finding difficult when standing up, which is really common because of the weight of the gun. You got to have it on the full magnification, which makes it look very unstable, and you got to turn the wheel. Yeah, it's difficult. If you get it right, it's going to save you time. But in a competition, you can range find kneeling or sitting, so that's always a silver lining, as long as you don't take the shot. If you take the shot sitting or kneeling on a standing lane, you won't get the point unless you're in open class. So I put this target out 20 yards, so I know exactly what to dial for, I know exactly where to aim. Okay, I got this tucked in my side here, just on the bone. I'm going to load my gun, and we got a full size kill, which is 40mm. You'll never have a standing shot that's below that, because otherwise it would be unfair to the people who aren't very steady. So you want to spread your legs apart, ground yourself, and then bring your eye to the scope, and you want to bring it down. So pick the gun up, bring it down, then pull the trigger. Okay, so here's what I do: pulling it down, breathing out. So I missed it that time. What I done when I pulled the trigger, I pulled the gun up slightly. I'll try that again. So that time I did it. And yeah, that's basically a standing shot. Now, don't do too many of these on the trot. You will hurt your arm, and that's not fun. Yeah, ouch. You also have to make sure your buttock isn't touching your arm here. It can only rest here, and your arm can rest anywhere here. But you've got to make sure that the gun is not touching your wrist or arm here in any way. Otherwise, it's considered an illegal shot. Just like if you take a standing shot, if you take a kneeling shot in a standing lane, a sitting shot in a kneeling lane, whatever. You can't do an easier discipline. So if you got a discipline lane, unless you're in open class, you have to do that discipline or harder. So the way it works is if you had a kneeling lane, and you thought, I'll try my luck at a stander, you can do it. But if you had the kneeling lane and you think, oh, my legs are hurting today, let's take a sit-in, you couldn't, unless you're in open class. Same with standers. Now, the only shot you can take in the standing lane is a standing, because it's considered the hardest. But if you're in open class, you can take a more sit-in. Open class is normally for those people who aren't quite confident enough yet, or maybe they're older, or maybe they have some problems like bad back, anything like that. If you don't feel fit enough to shoot standing or kneeling, then you join the open class, which you still get badges the same. It's just not a competitive sort of thing. There's no categories. So how the categories work, it goes open class, which is generally at the bottom. Then they did have a C class, but they got rid of it, but now they're thinking of bringing it back, so they can't make their mind up. B class, which is what I'm in, borderline A, which is the one above, and then double A. Now, if you're making a double A, be prepared to be hitting 37 out of 40. The guys there are really good, really good. But if you're in A class, 32 and above should see you place top 3. If you're in B class, I'd probably say, depending on the weather, you might be able to get away with 27 or above to be in the top 3. And if you're in C class, then I'd probably say 25 and above to be in the top 3. But it just depends on the day. If it's really windy, really rainy, and everyone's in a grumpy mood, expect scores to be lower. But if you're on a nice sunny day, well, not so much sunny, but if you're in good conditions, not much wind, then expect some people to hit 40 out of 40, because that's how good some people are. Anyway, I hope this video helped some people. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, also let me know. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.